How important is color in science? A question many, including myself, never thought about before reading the article, The Misuse of Color in Science Communication. Remember the color wheel in kindergarten? All those hours wasted? Maybe not. The color wheel plays a larger role in science than you think by preventing misrepresentation and distortion of data. Color maps are a bit different from our traditional idea of maps. Color maps are essentially a legend scaling system where color over specific regions of a picture will represent a data value. You've probably seen the color map today, in the morning, while you were watching the news. They're everywhere and not limited to science. Maps for weather, hurricane danger zones, election voting casts, climate change, or even mountain topography. They've proven themselves a helpful tool for most of the population. But there is a problem. Make everything black and white. And can you read and understand the maps now? Jet color maps is the most common color map used to date, and is what you will find set as a default color map for many softwares, going from blue, green, yellow to red. There is no real order of color, and that's the problem. Color vision deficient individuals won't be able to read Jet color maps because they rely on smooth gradients. Instead, Jet offers a non-uniform rainbow map. Now, to get a better idea of the problem, let's take a look through the lens of some color-deficient eyes. Jet under deuteranopia, a red-green blindness, ends up looking like this. For protanopia, a red-blue blindness looks like this, and for tritanopia, a blue-yellow blindness, it ends up looking like this. Now, to a fully sighted person, you may not see the problem with the Jet color map. It appears that the colors have just changed. The best way to understand this issue is through a lens of a fully colorblind individual. Black and white. Notice there's no uniform gradient. There are multiple dark ends. So how would you differentiate between 200 meters versus 1,200 meters altitude point on a map? Jet color maps exclude the color vision deficient population. Deuteranopia, red-green blindness, is the most common CVD, affecting 5% of the male population and 0.5% of the female population. However, there are many alternative color maps to Jet, one of them being the batlow color map. Batlow color map is CDV friendly, and we can tell by looking through the eyes of a colorblind person. Even though it's black and white, there's a smooth gradient, so even those with CVD can differentiate between the endpoints on a map, whereas in Jet, we couldn't. In the article, they address many of Jet color map's shortcomings, one of them being the non-uniform increment contrast. Looking at figure A and B, they've pulled 3 pairs of consecutive colors and explored the differences in lightness at each point pair. The blue pair gets lighter in color, whereas the yellow and red pair get darker in color. Additionally, when we compare the pairs amongst each other, the blue and red are darker than the middle color, yellow. The problem is there's no constant unit of color change between the pairs. Instead of jumping up 2 levels in lightness between each color, the Jet map jumps up 1 unit, down 3, and then up to 5. This destroys the possibility of a gradient. Again, for CDV individuals, they depend on gradients of light to differentiate between points on a color map. Batlow color map has increments of color change in lightness that are equal and constant at any point of the map. Looking at figures C and D, another shortcoming of Jet is its lack of intuitive order. Jet colors have no particular pattern or rule for its order, it's just random, whereas Batlow color map is ordered based on color and lightness simultaneously, creating its amazing smooth gradient. The researchers also explore the importance of color spacing in color maps. The size of each band each color is allotted should be equal because the band is essentially a scaling system. 100 meters at point A should be the same width as 100 meters at point B, otherwise the data is distorted. Jet map does not allot equal band space for each color, and you can simply take a look at the blue band versus the yellow band, wide and narrow. By doing this, the data will be distorted because the scaling system is not uniform. Batlow is great because it provides honest data and stays true to the equal space scaling system. It does not stop at the color map. The color bar is very important because it acts like a legend. Just imagine reading a graph with no y or x-axis label. Secondly, the background color. Making sure it accommodates the type of data values you're recording is important for proper data perception. Establishing a universal and inclusive color map system will ensure proper translation of visual data from scientific articles to the public. There are many toolkits that aim to create scientific color maps and data sets. So train your eyes to identify scientific color maps versus non-scientific color maps, and be more considerate about the colors you use when you present data in the future. So next time, when you look at a diagram, ask yourself the million-dollar question: is this another white or blue dress debate moment? This paper is great for beginner readers and really puts effort into connecting with the audience. They provide more tips and step-by-step directions on choosing color maps for specific types of data, which I thought was quite helpful. So definitely give this paper a read. And as always, keep translating science.